I want to dig into something that's very interesting, and that is local manufacturing.
Oh, cool.
Local manufacturing here in the United States. And there's a company that I've recently met that has been working for the last 4 years to bring local manufacturing to the United States. They're actually the largest manufacturer it's Europe and SME, right? Mohammad Shehadeh is the Chief Commercial Officer, Chief Development Officer of Philadelphia Solar.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Nico.
There we go.
There we are.
Perfect.
Hi, Nico. Hi, Josh. My name is Mohammad Shehadeh. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Philadelphia Solar.
Yeah. Well, Josh and I are probably going to ask you some really geeky questions.
Sure.
But first of all, I wanted to, for those who perhaps are unfamiliar with Philadelphia Solar generally, it's a company from Jordan that has a huge presence in Europe. And because of the nature of our kind of xenophobia here in the domestic markets, we aren't as familiar with the brands that don't have a presence already in this market, right? So tell us a little bit about Philadelphia Solar, and then we'll talk about the work that you've been doing to stand up a physical presence in the United States.
Sure. So Philadelphia Solar established in 2007. We established as a PV panel manufacturer, but today we have a little bit different structure. We are more like a holding company that have several revenue streams. One of them is the manufacturing. So we have a 500 megawatt manufacturing line that exported to 52 countries. We have a 300 megawatt mounting system manufacturing line that exported to 14 countries. We have our EPC team as the second revenue stream, and we have almost 400 megawatt as an EPC team reference total. And we also have our development arm, so we develop projects, sell electricity, and we build it on our own. So we have around 158 megawatt projects that is developed in Middle East.
Fascinating.
Whoa, there's a lot of different streams in that
True.
puzzle.
Different streams actually help us survive the up and downs of the market, and that several types of business carry each other and help us to grow the whole profile.
Right.
Amazing.
And they're organized into separate actual teams of people that work on those specific areas.
We have around 500 person working in the company.
Amazing. So I mentioned in the lead up that you've spent about 4 years working to get manufacturing here domestically.
True.
Can you, I mean, we're all, not we're all, but many of us here are entrepreneurs that are listening. Can you talk to me a bit about the struggle, the journey of just trying to stand up manufacturing here in the United States, especially given that the IRA presumably is meant to help make this easier.
True.
So what's been your experience, and how do you expect that now, sort of that demarcation line with the Inflation Reduction Act, it's going to become a fulfilled prophecy?
So I'll start where the whole idea come from. I mean, it was like almost 4 or 5 years ago. There was a RE Plus or SPI show in Vegas. And when we attend that show and we saw the domestic market demand, it was huge. And we thought seriously to start the production in USA, and we start our due diligence process. We found several, let's say, obstacles in the regulations. After Section 201, 301, it was obvious that manufacturing in the US might work because it's protected against, let's say, anti-dumping.
Right.
When we started the process, we started due diligence. We started to interview a lot of EDOs in the States. Less down the States, we decide the location. We almost bought the location that we want to start production in. Then Section 201 was canceled. Who really dig deep in the production process will know that there is 7 out of 11 raw materials that is used to produce the PV panel is under customs in the CBP.
Yeah.
That's regardless the source of materials.
Yeah.
And if you get it from China, you will pay another 25% more on top of that. So without clear protection or subsidy, it will not work. And that's why we stopped the plans. We canceled the whole plan, and at least we freeze it. With the IRA now in place, I think, of course, I need to go back to the board and to explain the whole process. But I think that the project might be alive again, and not at the same even size that we decide to start with, which 1 gigawatt. It might be either bigger, or we can go up or downstream more. Maybe we'll go to the cells too. All that will depend on the financial side. We have to do some studies in the next 1 month, but I think we will come back with a decision very soon because it's who come first.
That's really encouraging because you had those other revenue streams and you were able to kind of freeze one, and then when the legislation became where it needed to be, now you can say, okay, let's turn this back on potentially.
Exactly. Right? That's the different revenue streams always help us to be really a flexible company.
I didn't realize how close your booth was to us on the show floor. We had a lot of traffic coming through and going past here, so I know that they were going right by your booth. What was the general sentiment of conversations like at your booth? Now, like after the full 3 days is complete, did it meet your expectations? And what was the common theme of the conversation you were hearing?
So the first thing you mentioned was right. I mean, to work with a company that don't have an existence in the U.S. is not an easy decision for a lot of U.S. companies, especially let's say the local distributors or even some developers. And that's one of the points that will encourage us to have at least a local office here in the U.S. But I will prefer to push for the manufacturing. In general, the feedback was great. The demand is there. We are competitive in general. I mean, I can say that because I could read the market reaction. And I think that we can really do a great job in the next 2 years in the US. I believe if we do it right, you will find the name. I mean, let's say it will show off more in the market.
Yeah, I wonder, I mean, you're in a position where you're looking at this new legislation and you're saying we can take another go at domestic manufacturing. And it's like, do you see that there's going to be a ramp up of domestic manufacturing across the country right now? Are you hearing that kind of discussion on the show floor? You think it's going to be a really aggressive kind of move? And also, how long does it take to go from point A through to the point where you're actually delivering product? Given we're so dependent on these legislations.
I believe there will be a huge move. There is a lot of talking. Many big names now is talking about starting manufacturing in the U.S. It is easy, but not that easy. I mean, you need to know the tricks. You need to understand the industry very well. Some companies can really do it very fast. I mean, if we want to move fast, we can do it within less than 1 year. I can say 9 months. Other companies might need more time. There's a learning curve that you need to be through it. I mean, for newcomers, it's not easy. I mean, maybe it took 15 years and we're still learning.
I wonder if, and there are different types of manufacturing lines for the different types of PV, right? I wonder if it's obvious, given the state of affairs right now, which type of product you're going to develop the manufacturing line for. If it's like premium, multi-20-step process type of manufacturing, or if it's another area that may be more for utility scale, or, have you got a sense of where that goes?
I believe we can start with the residential, with the black panels, which is like niche panels. I think this is the start. We can work on the utility scale if we start to be 2 gigawatt and above. I mean, because the demand is high, you cannot just book the whole capacity for one client. So we will focus on the small panels first, which is used mainly for the rooftops, maybe some commercial and industrial, but utility scale will be the next step.
Interesting. It's not easy scaling anything. So my hat is off to anyone who takes on the endeavor of standing up a manufacturing process.
Thank you.
And in particular, moving out of your home country, moving out of your home region into a large market like the United States, where really thinking about your brand presence and your partnerships is quite a change. It's quite a bit different from the way that you would do it in the Middle East or in Europe. But clearly you've got experience moving from one market to another. So we wish you success.
Thank you.
Did you go ahead and book your booth for Vegas?
Yes, actually, we'll do that. We'll do that today.
Yes, I would encourage you, go do that today.
Of course we'll do it. I mean, it's Vegas.
Well, Mohammad, I'll let you go, and so you and your team can go ahead and go lock down your spot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Great
I appreciate
to meet you.
it.
Thank you for taking the time to join us.